Good morning to you all. If you haven't seen me before, I'm Ted from The Devil's in the Detail. And before you see the last walk around at the 964, I thought I'd have a chat really about what really happened with this job, the commitment of Ian, the owner, to make this as good as it could be. And really, what really started the job off in the vein that it carried on. The very first job you seen done was the windscreen being taken out. This was partly because the rubber around the windscreen was slightly leaking some water, and secondly, I wanted to dash out because Ian could see the silver of a staple that was right down the A pillar. Now, 99.9% of people would never have seen it, but Ian had, and basically you've seen we had to dash out. I coloured the staple in the cashmere colour, trim colour, that Ian had supplied, so that you couldn't see the staple glinting in the sunlight like a diamond. And really that set the vein of really the whole job. You know, when the owner has an eye for detail like that, to be able to reach his expectations and understand that he'd never had a job done here before. He had only seen the videos and believed that I could work to the standard that he wanted. Now, without Ian's commitment to this job, it would never have ended up like this. You know, this is a job that I'll be proud of forever. And it's been a joint venture between me and Ian to make this car the best it could be. Now, considerable investment, you know, has gone into this car to make sure that it's finished perfect. I mean, the wheels, you know, was really expensive refurb. You know, they're laser etched as well. You know, this is, you know, the detail on this car has been incredible, and without the investment that Ian's been willing to put into it, it just wouldn't have happened. Now, I probably won't get another job like this. You know, it could be a year, could be 2 years, could be 10 years. Well, I won't be at it in 10 years, I don't suppose, but it's not been an open-ended checkbook, but as near as damn it, it has. You know, because if it's needed anything at all, you know, it's just been done. There's been no question of cost, ordering parts. There's, you know, it's just been open. And this, coming from the restoration background that some of you know I came from, this has been a restoration. You know, it's a restorative detail. You know, the attention to some of the details that haven't been shown. And it's only because of the owner. You know, I've had the door locks out so that we could polish the car properly and change the gaskets, and you've seen that bit, but what you didn't see was the locking mechanisms inside the door lock and the handle have all been cleaned out. All the old grease that's been in there 29 years, all that was cleaned out and replaced with new. The boot lid, when I set up to set the windscreen sticker in the back, and I put the centre line down the car to find the middle, you know, to get the sticker in the right place, I found that the boot lid was offset by 1.5 mil. Now, to correct the boot lid alone took me 4.5 hours to get it perfect, you know, because it wasn't a case of just undoing 2 bolts and moving it, because the red Porsche visor that goes across the back that joins the lights, the boot lid had to line up with that perfect as well. So it was a case of, it needed lifting, moving, and, it's not a 5-minute process, but to get just the 1.5 mm movement and to get it perfect, it's satisfying for me, because I wouldn't have known it was out, really, unless I put the centre line to put the window sticker in, and to correct this sort of thing. Because I know I'd seen Ian look at the boot lid a number of times and looking at the gaps, so, it sort of pushed me towards, like, he's got a good eye. If he could see this 1.5 mm gap, then obviously, I could do something about it. But it takes time, and Ian's been fully committed to having it done, to the best of the ability. And I believe, this is probably a masterpiece for me. I'm not saying I could have done it any better than anybody else, but for me personally, the car that it's ended up, I believe, is the best one in the country. And I'll stand by that, because I think if the car ever gets shown, Ian doesn't normally show his cars, but I'm sure if it, was shown, then, it gets some accolades. I'm that confident in the work that's been done and the finish of the car. And really, this is all about Ian, the owner. If he wasn't as committed to having the car as good as it could be, this wouldn't have happened. 7 weeks work is not the norm. I know that most of my details are quite big. I don't do the 2-stage polishing, they're just not in depth enough for me. This is the work that I find really satisfying, and to say I'm over the moon with it would be an understatement. It's sort of set the benchmark for the work that I want to do going forward. I'm sure that Ian is going to find some other cars for me to do in the future. We've built up a great friendship over this period of time, and I've really enjoyed our 2 visits a week that we've had together, going around the car, looking at different things. It's been a journey, and it's been a really enjoyable journey for me. So I wanted to say thanks again to Ian, for giving me the opportunity to work on this car. And with his mentality, it makes me wonder what we can create in the future. And to me, this is a piece of art. I could sit here now and look at it for just every day. It's beautiful, and so satisfying to have not only finished it, but to be able to go over the car again and again and again to see if there's anything been missed, and to finally walk away and think that is finished. It's a very satisfying moment. For us detailers, you cannot do the work we do without loving cars. You've got to love what you do, else you'll never do it. And having the patience to spend the time to do it, that's a passion. It's not something that's taught. You've got to be passionate. And so, detailing is, some very special people that have got patience, skill, and I mean abundances of skill. It isn't just like you see a body shop polish. I've said this before and I'll say it again, there's a lot of skill involved. Now this car is finished, it's going to our colleagues Topaz in London to have it completely covered in PPF, and so that'll lock in this finish for a minimum of 10 years or longer. And I'm sure that it will look just as glorious when it comes out their doors as it does now. There's no polish on this car at all, it's completely naked. This is to help the PPF installers, so it doesn't get marked in their cleaning process to remove anything that's going to reject putting the PPF on. So as you see it now is just off the polisher and panel whites. So, you know, I would imagine, although it's really, really glossy, it could look a little bit glossier. Personally, I don't think so. I think it's as good as it will ever get. But it's off today to go on its journey to London. There's a covered wagon going to arrive shortly. So once again, thanks to Ian, great bloke. I think we're going to be friends for life, and I'm sure we're going to do many cars together. And if any of you have got cars that you're that passionate about, you can always give me a call or a message, and I'll be interested in talking to you, and let's see what we can create. Thanks for all watching the videos, it means the world to me. Please hit the subscribe button. You know, to try and get the channel into the suggested box takes 1,000 subscribers, and we're nowhere near that yet. And I'd really like to do that in my lifetime. I never thought anybody would watch the videos when I started, and you know, to have people watching, leaving lovely comments, it means the world to us. And it does give us a kick up the bum to create better things. So hit the buttons, and I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.